Good afternoon. Alright, so I need to work on the UI for this thing. Well, only one way to get started. It's just to start working. Nothing checked in? Alright. Let's double check the nightly builds. Those are all looking good. We deployed everything yesterday, so that works. Alright, so what do we need to do here? We got the main stat screen. So we want the user stat profile page. That's where we need to be. So I need to pull up my mock-up of this that Adam put together for me. Alright, so I need the main screen here is not what we need. We need the other screen. So this will be stats profile screen. Okay, so what do we need? We're going to need kind of a top area. Stats profile screen online notice. We don't have one of those. Button container. Does this exist? Profile screen button container. Alright, so we have a banner. We're going to need a main body. We're going to need kind of a lower area. It's going to be header, important stats, unimportant stats, navigation bar. Alright, so we got our banner up top. Okay, so we got our important stats. We've kind of got a left area and a right area. Okay, so we've got with this basically inside of this important left, we have this so we've got a user avatar picture going on there. So on the right side, we're going to have, it looks like we've got these columns that come down. So we need these lines, and so we need like a header, then we need a container, line, and then parts of those lines. So on these, we're going to have our list of contexts. I guess we can just kind of put them in here. Like each one of these are lines, aren't they? Alright, so we've got the Alright, so we got like numbers here. The other thing we'd have is a line here which has, nothing in it. And then this would be online, this would be offline. So we've got our avatar, we've got these two things, that's good. Okay, let's get our top bar going here. All right. Okay, then we got our lower stats. And our lower stats are basically just going to be, we'll have a list of, it'll be a header and then like a row sort of thing. So I have a lower row container, and each one of these things is going to be a row on it. And inside that row is going to be basically these values that go out. So let's see. We're going to have all these icons. So yeah, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we have another row, and we're going to do so blank, and what is this? This is like a punch, kick, slide, pop up, ground pound. I have no goddamn idea what that squiggly thing is. There's ground pound, air, and then there's I have absolutely no idea what the hell that stat is. Let's look at our stats and see if maybe one of them shows up. Run into wall? Alright, so it looks kind of like that for the stats. And then we've got probably the back button. And we're also going to need the user history button. So we've got this big, massive garbage screen now, but it's got everything on it, so we can start putting it where we want it to go. Alright, so for the banner, we've got our banner items, and then we have our stuff. Okay, for a banner item, we're gonna want kind of this like margin top, maybe like 2 vmin. Do we have a text size here anywhere? Alright, so this is what it looks like. Alright, so we'll throw that straight on top. Banner items, we're going to want to have them float left, and we want a width of like maybe 25 vmin. I think we're going to want some sort of banner, like a spacer here for this guy. So let's add a spacer. Alright, so we've got our spacer going on there. Now, I don't remember exactly. There's a thing that we can do in order to get this element, the parent element, to so I guess overflow auto is the thing that we need. So that'd do that guy, so we'd have the exact thing there. Alright, so I want margin bottom of 2 vmin. So boom, we've got our stuff there. So let's see how big that username field is. It's pretty big. We don't need these guys to be so large though. So we can kind of do like a width, maybe like 10. But they're going to want to take up space, aren't they? Alright, so we got those guys. So let's get like an example badge going on here. Just a simple little thing that is not complicated. Screens. This will be in static. Screen assets, stats. Just a simple, stupid looking thing. Starve David. Yeah, right. We're just gonna have the Jew badge on everybody. I don't think so. Let's see. Put a fire truck badge. Put a rocket ship on it. Or should I just draw something? Let's just draw an angry face. There you go. Angry badge deployed. Alright, the next thing we need is some sort of flag. So, what the hell does an Australian flag even look like? It's all stupid looking, as I expected. It's like we'll need some extra room for a flag. That's not a flag. What the hell are the dimensions of these things anyway? Alright, so if I'm trying to make an Australian flag, it's got like a thing on it. It's good enough, right? This will be like a flag thing. Is that a fucking 7-pointed star? They really have all 7-pointed stars except for over here. This is the worst. There we go, it's a flag. Alright, so let's see. We need these guys to actually have the badge and flag in them. Beautiful. Absolutely wonderful. Alright, so I think the height should be something less. Like that. Could work. Maybe we should make it 7. Something like that. Yeah, that looks better. So, if we go back to some of these others, what kind of text are we using for these text buttons? Like this other color for white. Yeah, okay, so we got like the username there. Alright, so that's looking better. So we've got our basically our top area. So let's go ahead and ID our stuff up here. So let's see. So let's just snag all those. The next thing we need to do is make our center area, so it needs to look like kind of this. So we need an avatar picture. So why don't we just screenshot this thing and pull out that avatar picture. Let's make this 128 by 512, 256 by 512. Yeah, let's do it like that. So let's add our avatar in there. So let's see, the width of this thing is it's 1 by 2. So like 30 vmin, and the height is going to be 60 vmin. Let's try that. Something like that. Yeah, okay. Alright, so we need this important container. This important... Alright, so we have important stats, so we need to get that whole container set up properly. So it's over here. So we had the banner container, which was relative. We had all these lefts and backgrounds and all this other trash. Position relative. Okay. Margin top of 5 vmin. It's looking a little too far. No, I mean that looks equal. I think my eyes are deceiving me with something else. Alright, so that's our left kind of area, and then we have this right main panel here. So that's going to be the avatar picture, and then we want this Alright, so that's a little bit more usable. Alright, so we got left panel and avatar is set up. Now we need the right panel. right panel is this guy. Let's see. I think how does this mock-up look? I know this is in the same line, so why don't we just do the same margin for the top. So we're gonna do float. We're gonna do it a float left, just to make it simple. Let's see, width and height. The width is gonna be something. I'll have to do the thing. The height should be 50. The width should be more than 25. Let's just put it at 50 for now. Okay, so we'll need that margin top of 5. So it's even, and then we can, I guess, we need a margin left of 5. Or should we have the other guy have a margin right of 5? Just to have him kind of make himself out there. And then this guy should have a width that just kind of makes sense. So let's see. We gave him a width of 70, that's too much. 65 is just in there, so width of 60. Kind of balance it off. Okay, so we need these stat lines, so let's go ahead and get started. So stat lines should have a width of, what, 100% and a height of like 7 vmin. And all these important so I need to figure these guys out. So the items, so the whole width of this guy is going to be 60. So we want the stats to take up a certain percentage of this. Maybe like 15%, 15%. This will be item. And then we've got number. So the item width is going to be, what, 70%? And these guys, the numbers are going to be 15%. Maybe we should put it at 60. So we want a margin left on the item. Alright, let's see, text align. What's our text look like? It looks like these are right adjusted or something like that. So So kind of look like that. How many stats have we got in this mock-up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, this kind of gives me an idea. Maybe the history button should be somewhere in there. It's not a bad place to put it, to be honest. What happens if I keep throwing these things in here? Doesn't really work too well. Well, let's see if we can fix that. Let's see. So we could have stats that scroll down, and that's not a problem. We would want a bar at the bottom, so something like this where we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we've got some stuff at the bottom here. This looks a little bit too big on top, to be honest. This needs a space here to make it work. Something like that. Alright, it's starting to come together a little bit better. So we need our lower stats. We also need our badges for all this stuff. So for our mock-up, we've got all these, so I will just have to snag all of them out of there. So what is this icon? This is... This is like icon bonfire. This is like icon the marker. You didn't know it, but Bitey of Brackenwood's... The world of Brackenwood and the world of Dead Space is actually the same world after their corruption. Alright, so we have all the icons. So let's start on that lower area. Alright, so what we need to do is start getting the icon bar. So we have these rows. Alright, so now we need these rows to actually do stuff. So each row, if we've got a height of 20 vmin, every row we got, what, 3 rows? 20 doesn't divide by 3, so we could do a height of 21 and then do every row is a height of 7. Alright, and every item, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 items in each one of these. So every item is what's